We wanted a flagship research project where we were looking at the koala population in the Ballarat region and try to answer a bunch of questions. Mainly the first one was, how many are there?
Anyone you talk to, you know that they don't see koalas as often anymore, which indicates that they are in decline. We're losing more koalas than we're saving.
Wildlife needs our veterinary help. There is a lot of wildlife out there that is just unnoticed. So I have built a wildlife shelter, a registered wildlife shelter where I can take in injured and orphaned wildlife and care for them on a veterinary capacity. There is amazing carers out there that are working so hard to save and protect our wildlife. Birds, raptors, magpies, possums, gliders, swans, kangaroos, obviously koalas. We see a lot, everything.
As koalas or, echidnas or birds of prey, which are the main ones in this study, come through vet care, we know where they've been picked up. So the site, we call it site of origin. We have records on their injuries. We have records on treatment, prognosis, release data, sites of release. And then the only thing that we didn't have was what happens to them after they're released. So that was what we really wanted to capture with this project.
It's really important to understand how they integrate and whether any of that information can feed back to help the vet clinics and carers look after the wildlife. We're currently in the Wirrukurrong Regional Park, and maybe there's at least 12 or so koalas around here. We know they go back into Union Jack Reserve, and also Mount Buninyong is a population there as well, so they probably do migrate back and forth. Given the university is right within the area that the koalas are known to inhabit, I think it's really important for the university to be doing something to help protect the local koala population. We run a Bachelor of Veterinary and Wildlife Science here at Federation Uni, and we've had third-year students that do projects helping us track the animals, and they can use that information to build into their research project course. We also have a course called Field Investigations where students learn how to track all different ranges of animals, and so they're also involved in that project as well.
Catherine's a young female that is carrying a joey. She was found disorientated, wandering around the streets. She was rescued and taken to the clinic the next day. She was very lucky. Their mental health is just as important as their physical health. So enclosing a wild animal into a care facility is detrimental on their mental health. She was in intensive care here for 48 hours on a drip, and then we put her into the ICU unit.
Once all her other physical signs were normal, we were really happy to clear her for a release. She had an anaesthetic, we checked everything, put the collar on, and then she was released by Nikki Shanahan, who has Shanhaven Shelter.
It is very important that all of our wildlife go back to exactly where they were found. They have a home range. Every animal has a home range.
And the great thing that we can do here is if we have a site of origin, we can actually feed them the browse within that area. So we have reasonable confidence that we're feeding them their normal diet. They're not having to go through a dietary translocation if they had to go to an external hospital that's a couple of 100 kilometres away. So that is the value that we can add to our local population here.
You can learn a lot about the animal from their poo or scat. So we have a really good research base in Gippsland that do a lot of work on koala genetics. And so the scats will be sent over to Fiona Hogan's group where they'll look at population diversity of the population that's in Ballarat, and she'll be able to compare it to the other populations around Victoria and also Queensland that she has information on. We're also interested in keeping the DNA at the Ballarat campus, where we'll look at the microbiome to try and work out what they're eating, detect any pathogens. And we're also looking to work with Macquarie University, where we'll be sending samples up there and they'll look for antimicrobial resistance as well, which we know is quite strong spread throughout wildlife populations as well.
If you do find an injured wildlife, whether it be on the side of the road or you find one at home, do try and contain it safely and get to the closest veterinary clinic if you can. If you cannot, please ring Wildlife Victoria. They will send out rescuers and carers to your area and retrieve that animal for you.